Right then, welcome everybody to the race out here then this weekend. We have 15 drivers on the grid with us today, and sorry I'm a bit shaken up. I was just a bit rushed because I thought that Garrison would be coming, but at the moment he has not yet to turn up, but hopefully we can get him in later on today then. But we are out here for HDL. It's round 19 and out here in the Netherlands then with, like I mentioned, 15 of us on the grid today, and I believe it is short qualifying for this weekend. I did get told it was full, but then as we loaded in it said short, so I think it's short. As track map will come up now and we can see who's coming out the pit lane first. It's Gunnar in the McLaren, one of the first drivers out there at the minute then, with the Alfa Romeo of Biscuit behind that. Yeah, short quality, says Elliot. Alright mate, thank you. So back out here for HDL then, my third time doing comms on HDL I believe, and so far so good, I must say. I think from everyone, from what everyone said. So obviously my second time doing it without Garrison, but hopefully he did say yesterday that he was going to join. So hopefully he gets himself in later on. JMet Deadly has quali band too. All right. So Deadly will not be putting a time on the board this weekend. As we have 16 minutes of qualifying. You can see Tesco coming out of the pit lane. I must say, third time commentating on this league, and I do know, yeah, I do know everybody in this lineup today. So that is very good for me on the commentary side. But up ahead then, we will take a look at the McLaren, who is, if I can find him, heading towards the line of Gunnar, and Gunnar will be the first driver to start their flying lap this weekend here in Zandvoort. And I will just quickly keep my phone up, so see if Garrison does ping a message back. But like I mentioned, Gunnar then, who will be the first driver to set a time, obviously faster than the first sector, but not too hard here in qualifying. And it is not looking to be a too bad lap for him at the moment. Obviously Zandvoort being a bit of a different track from quite a few of the different ones. The other ones then, as the Aston Martin on the outside there. The Red Bull tries to get through as well. And then we have yellow flags in sector 3 as Gunnar has got a car up ahead of him, which is the Alpine. The Alpine moves out of the way. Gunnar got a nice little slipstream off him then towards the end of this track. And now around the final bends and now the final corner, the big banked corner on the last corner of this track, and now towards the main straight then as Gunnar will cross the line. The first time on the weekend in 1 minute 9.145, not too bad for a first timer for this weekend. As Elliot then to cross the line and start their flying lap. It's Biscuit who goes P2 with 1 minute 10.0. New cars across the line. Bakuto 1 minute 12.9. Then we have Spears, Gunnar's teammate, who goes across the line and puts it in P2, 1 minute 9.4. And as it stands, we have a McLaren front row lockout in the early stages of qualifying. Adjuro's out the pit lane and on a flying lap at the moment. Tesco also on a lap just behind Adjuro's. So who else do we have? He's just about to put a time on the board. We have Adjuro's actually, who I did mention, will be heading towards the penultimate corner of this racing track then. Adjuro's, who will go foot to the floor to the line here in Zandvoort, and what can his first time of the weekend be? It won't be as quick as some of the other ones, but it'll be at 1 minute 11.5. Super Skills P6 there, and Tesco snatches provisional pole here in Zandvoort. Then that came out of absolutely nowhere. So it's Tesco from Gunnar, from Spears, then Elliot, then comes Frisky Biscuit. It is Solo, Super Skills, Adjuros, Bakuto, all with times on the board. Well, I think it was, who was it who said who isn't getting a time on the board? It is Deadly. And obviously Deadly has retired because of that quali ban. As we now watch Bakuto in the Haas, who is making his way then across the second sector line. It'll be a 4 seconds down on that lap. He is, I should have seen that anyway, he was slowing down. For anyone new in the stream chat, if you are new, be much appreciated for the HDL Twitch channel. If you could drop us a quick follow, I'm sure they would much appreciate that indeed. So if you could do that, that would be very much appreciated. And thank you very much for that. Then as we watch Bakuto go into the pit lane just there. And what else we have? We have J-Met on his way out of the pit lane. It's Don Dedge on an outlap at the moment. Nathan, who is out there for the AlphaTauri team, goes past the Aston Martin just there. And all the front runners actually in the pit lane at this moment in time. It's Adros who will be going in the pit lane next, I'm pretty sure. J-Met, who is on the outlap, obviously just seeing him come out, and there's not really too much going on from that. Is Nathan on a lap? I'm not sure, but he goes towards the line now, and it does look to be a good one then, as Nathan is P5 time at the moment, 1:09.8, and that is not too bad at all for Nathan on that time around. Adros, who will be going into the pit lane at this lap. Don Dedge, who is on a flyer at this moment in time. Up ahead, J-Met, who will be starting their flying lap soon, just heading towards the end of Sector 2. Behind that is an Alpine of, it won't be Adros, it will be probably a Williams actually. I've got the colours wrong. It is OMG in the Williams. As now finally J-Met who goes across the line, and J-Met will be starting their flying lap this weekend. Then round turn 1 he goes and does that like an absolute champion. Then J-Met is doing well through the first few corners, keeps it tight, then goes wide out of the corner into the banked one there, and it isn't looking too bad for him at the moment. Then keeps it to the left and then to the right, and then it dips down here to the right hand side. He's gone quickest in the first sector for J-Met, so he's looking decent at the moment. Doesn't hit the curb on the left, but he does there. Then he doesn't clip the inside curb there, but it still could be a decent lap for him then, as he does hit the inside curb there. And it was a lovely few corners just in that section as he's heading towards the end of Sector 2 now. And is that going to be a good sector for J-Met? First sector was absolutely perfectionate, but will this sector be as good? It is a 48.2. Not quickest this time around, but it is still a decent sector as J-Met towards the penultimate corner here in Zandvoort. Where can he place himself then? As he will go foot to the floor around the bank corner and then onto the main straight in Zandvoort. Where can J-Met put himself up on that board then for the first time of the weekend? It'll be a P3 then, 1:09.4, and that is very, very respectable indeed. It's very, very close to Spears' time as well, but what a time from J-Met, and he should be happy with that one indeed. Tesco, who is up there on provisional pole, is on an outlap at this moment in time. Spears also on an outlap. Frisky Biscuit with a 3/10 improvement on this lap, and in the minute looking quite good indeed then. We'll see where he can put himself coming towards the end of this one just here, as he will go foot to the floor and make his way across the line. It'll be a 5/10 improvement and P5 for Biscuit that time around. Oh, and Biscuit, who loses it on the exit of the turn there. What we thinking for Deadly home race as well? I mean, I'm not really sure, to be fair. He hasn't had a qualifying lap. Obviously, it's going to be a last to first challenge for him today. But obviously, with a home race, home crowd, it's going to be a big advantage for Deadly in the Red Bull. And best of luck to him today. If we want my predictions, I'm going to put him home crash. We'll see. Maybe P3. We'll stick in P3 for today's race. And ladies and gentlemen then, 7 minutes of qualifying left here in Zandvoort, and it's Don Dedge out on a flying lap. Tesco, who is trying to improve his time, will head just out of Sector 2 now into Sector 3. Bit of a moment on the exit, and it's Tesco, who looked to be on a good lap, hits the wall at the end and ruins that one here in Zandvoort. And that will be that qualifying lap over for him when he goes into the pit lane next. I'm pretty sure he will. And Tesco completely bottles that lap just there. But this man, Don Dedge, seems unstoppable at the moment then on this lap, who is heading towards the line, and it'll be a P9 with a 4/10 improvement, and fair enough, mate, not too bad at all. Krispy Kreme in the pit lane, the Kuto, who is on an out lap actually. Super Skills, who will be heading towards the line in that Mercedes car, and trying to go quicker than a P11. 1 minute 10.6 this weekend with 6 minutes of qualifying left on the clock. Can he do it then around the very tight street circuit of Zandvoort? I want to think about that. Did I just say street circuit of Zandvoort? I'm not sure if I did. If I did, I apologise. Super Skills does improve though. He does improve indeed in the first sector, and making his way round these bends to head up towards the Sector 2 time. Then as I think someone that was in the wall, it was Elliot, who has gone around and lucky to keep himself out of that wall. I'm not sure if he got any damage on that car. J-Met is going to win, I see it. We'll have to see what he can do. J-Met MP3, and last race J-Met had a super drive in Mexico to get his way back up to the position that he made up, and it was a brilliant drive for J-Met. He's finding his form once again, and hopefully he can find that form even more in this race and continue that streak, continue it and keep it going. Then he's P3 at the moment and out on an out lap. It's 1 minute 9.450, fastest lap of the weekend for J-Met. And now, J-Met will narrowly miss the Alpine and go foot to the floor towards the line, and down the straight he heads. And he will be now on for his flying lap. And it's a moment around the edge, and he does bin it. And J-Met, who built up all that anticipation for us, was all so excited to see that. And he's gone and bottled it into turn one. And Saddam in the chat has just completely jinxed him there. Saddam, you're from are you from this league or are you from another one? I cannot remember which one you're from, but I do remember your name. As we have the best part of 4 minutes of qualifying left here in Zandvoort, and 14 drivers obviously available to put time on the board. Finally, Krispy Kreme's come out and is out to do a flyer this time around. Over Sector 2 line he goes, and he goes quickest apparently. Will it stay that way then as he heads towards the penultimate corners and final corner of this track here in Zandvoort? Then he goes foot to the floor towards the line for qualifying, and he'll cross it to go P11, and it's not too bad at all for him. P11, 1 minute 10.299. Not too bad for Krispy Kreme indeed. Now, J-Met, with only a few minutes of qualifying left on the board, is not going to bottle it into turn 1, thank God, and continues on with the unlucky number 7 on his car. But will that serve him justice, or will he do well on this lap? Let's hope he doesn't mess it up this time around then, as J-Met seems to be doing okay so far. Two drivers ahead of him, all on flying laps as well, I believe. You've got the Alpine just there, as the Ferrari ahead goes right off the track. Aston Martin just ahead of that is Elliott, who is definitely not on a lap even. And there's a pass that's gone round, and don't tell me that is, and it is the car of J-Met, who's gone round. I was in Alpine last week. Oh, yeah, I thought so. I thought you were from here. And J-Met did completely ruin that one, sadly. Frisky Biscuit was improving by 5 tenths. Wait, no, sorry, improved by 5 tenths on that lap, I believe. OMG's out on the lap. Dondej out on the lap. Solo's out on the lap. Krispy Kreme just goes into the pit lane. Super Skills out for a lap. Adjuro's on their last lap of the weekend, pretty much, I think, with 1 minute 30 left. Nope, you'll be able to cross the line one more time. Put another time on the board if you will not be happy with this one. The top 2 runners out on laps. J-Met, is he trying to send it once more and see if he can go quicker? He needs 3 tenths out of his time at the moment to get over to P2, but can he do it this time around then? As the Haas car is going to absolutely push it to the limits here in Zandvoort, and I'm not sure if he'll make it to the line in time. So this is the last lap that he can put on of the weekend then for J-Met. This is the one that means everything to him. He completely misses the apex, goes off wide, and J-Met just, he is going to be so fuming. So fuming. P3, and just cannot put another good time on the board. Elliott will now cross the line and start a flying lap, I believe. Oh, no, never mind. I think he just put it on the board. It was P5 for Elliott that time around. OMG starts the lap. Dondej on the lap now. Solo's down on time. Krispy Kreme on the out lap. It is Super Skills, who is also down. But the man in the Alpine who is up is Adjuro's then. Up by 1.5 tenths of a second. As now we do have Tesco as well, who's gone fastest in the middle sector. Just there as Gunnar came out of absolutely nowhere and takes provisional pole then by 2 tenths of a second here in Zandvoort. That came out of absolutely nowhere. It's Gunnar with a 1 minute 8.8. And then Tesco comes back across the line to retake provisional pole. 1 minute 8.6, 2 tenths quicker than that one. And he goes even quicker. Then Gunnar snatches it away. That was a lovely little back and forth action we had going on there. Gunnar's qualifying session will be over. P2 is only enough for him. Elliott into the pit lane, and is Solo, who is improving actually on this lap. We'll see if he can get himself anywhere up there, but I don't want to call it too early, but I definitely think that Tesco will be on pole position here in Zandvoort then, as Solo is apparently fastest in the middle sector and 4 tenths quicker in the middle sector. So he's going to go around the final corner, well, penultimate corner actually, then to the final corner. Obviously the bank corner, onto the main straight we go then for Solo, as he's going to go flat out and towards the line, and it'll be a P5 for Solo at the end. 7 tenth improvement, and that is very respectable. And that is the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, here in Zandvoort. Ladies and gentlemen, finishing results then for qualifying here in Zandvoort. It's Tesco, who had provisional pole for most of qualifying. Gunnar took it away at the very end. We thought he was going to keep it. But then Tesco came out of absolutely nowhere and retook it by 2 tenths of a second. So it's Tesco on pole from Gunnar. In second in the McLaren, it's Frisky Biscuit. Alfa Romeo then in third. J-Met, who could not go any quicker on them, beating up and bashed tyres. It's Solo, P5, Spears 6, Elliott 7, Nath 8, Dondej 9, and OMG in the Williams, who rounds off the top 10. Super Skills 11, Krispy Kreme 12, Adro's 13th, Bakuto in 14th, and TS Dudley, who did get disqualified and did not put a time on the board for this qualifying session, starts at the back of the grid. 5 minutes break, obviously, between the sessions, so we'll have a little 5-minute break, and then we will be getting going for the main race here in Zandvoort. Yeah, and I know you're all on your break, but if anyone's got any questions in the stream chat, I'd be more than happy to answer. It doesn't look like Garrison's going to be here for the start of the race anyway, because I think he thought that it was going to be what's it called? I think he thought it was going to be later than 8 o'clock, but I didn't tell him the time, so that's completely my bad. But hopefully he gets here. Hopefully he gets here for the race, or maybe just after the start. I'll tell you like what as well. I do quite come into this one and commentating for you lot because at 8 o'clock it's quite a reasonable time. I do one at 9 o'clock and it's quite quite late to be fair, because if you do full qualifying as well, you end up finishing at like 10:30, 11 sometimes. So it's just a bit draining. But you know, it's all right. As we have obviously the break now. I'm not sure how long of the break left, but doesn't normally tell me how long we have left. It normally just chucks us straight into it. So I am completely ready to get the race undergoing and underway. Bradley in the chat. Good luck, boys. Yes, mate. Good luck to everybody today. 7 of you in the stream chat at the moment. Obviously, like I said earlier, if you haven't followed the HDL Twitch, it will be much appreciated. I'm sure the boys over at HDL would much appreciate that. As hopefully, I think, in the next few moments' time, we'll be getting into the race. As we are now, then, as we have formation lap. I forgot we have formation lap in this league. And we are making our way then around the track for the formation lap. It will be Tesco who leads us away from Deadly at the very, very back. Deadly is going to be very hungry today. He's really going to want that. And from the back, we'll see where he can get himself throughout the race. We'll see what he can do for himself. 36 laps of the race here today. And it's Tesco from Guna, from Biscuit, J-Met. Then comes Solo, Spears, Elliot, Nathan, Don Dej, OMG, Super Skills, Krispy Kreme, Adjuro's, Bakuto, and TS Deadly, obviously like I mentioned already, at the very back of the grid today due to a quali ban. But can he make his way back up and through the pack to where he thinks he belongs? We'll have to see where he can place himself today then, as it is the Williams driver of Tesco starting us off. And qualifying it wasn't the best right up to the very end, where Tesco and Guna decided to have a little back and forth play thing. But drivers making their way then to the end of Sector 3, and then to line up on the grid here in Zandvoort, and we'll get ready to go underway for the race this weekend. McLaren on the outside, absolutely really eager to get going then, as he wants to get his car parked up as soon as possible. Everybody making their way down to the grid now. It's come around the final corner, just come around now is TS Deadly. Everybody stayed fairly close throughout that formation lap then, as Deadly is going to be the last driver as the Ferrari goes round. Does a little warm-up donut, can't blame him for that then. As now everybody goes to line up on the grid nicely there, and we get ready to go here in Zandvoort. As the revs are high then, the lights are ready to go out here in Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. And we are away and racing then. It's lights out and away we go. Tesco, who will not get a brilliant start. Then he's got Guna on the inside, who passes him down the inside. There's Tesco already out of the session, apparently. He's dropping right down to the back then as Guna is up into P1, and J-Met has made up 2 positions. On the race start, then second position for the Haas driver. It's Spears in third, then Biscuit, then Elliot, then down the inside. We have the Mercedes of Super Skills who are trying to make a move on. Elliot there, moves going on at the back. We've got a lot of hands up in the air as the Williams goes through past the Mercedes of TS Deadly, who has made up a few positions at the start, but then has to give back the place there to the Aston Martin, who goes through and he's going to try and get through, past and back through again. Tesco apparently is out of the session. That is not good for him. I think it keeps him out of the game. But he's back in and will not be able to take part, unfortunately. He started from pole position this weekend. That is definitely not fair at all to him, but these things do happen sometimes, technology. As it's OMG then on the back end of Krispy Kreme, and he's going to try maybe to the inside, but obviously the move was up there for him this time around. But can he get closer to him then as we head towards the main straight? That is the big question. We also have to look at the front runners at the front then. It's Guna who leads from J-Met, then from Spears, Biscuit, Elliot, Super Skills. They all follow one by one in a line, then down the main straight we go. And we've got a move going in the back, like I mentioned. Krispy Kreme on the back end of OMG, and it's not really going on at the minute. Krispy can't get any closer to OMG this time around. As up ahead, it is Guna still from J-Met, then from Spears, and then from Frisky Biscuit. Krispy Kreme is out of the session. And will we get any safety car for that? I don't think we will. No, we won't. Lap 2 out of 36. And we've already lost 2 drivers in today's race. Spears is dropping down. What's happened to him? Spears has gone round. And Spears is going to get overtaken by more cars then as they all go past him now. It's T.S. Deadly who goes through, and then T.S. Deadly on the back end of Don Dedge now as he has to let back through Spears there for some reason. And he keeps making these positions up and then having to drop back again, poor guy. He started from last and up into P11 at the moment. T.S. Deadly at his home track then. He's going to push along now down the main straight and try to make the move on Spears. The move's there for him down the inside. The touching wheels then down the main straight as T.S. Deadly's going to send it to the inside here in Zandvoort. The Red Bull car tries to put his nose down the inside and he's up and through past the McLaren this weekend. We do love to see that one. Indeed, J-Met! What's happened to him? J-Met is out of the session apparently. Super Skills that. Have we got a restart? I think this is a restart. Yes, it is. Lobby restart. We were on lap 3 out of 36, and we're going to have to make a new lobby. I think it was because of Tesco's game, but I'm not too sure. But it is understandable. Obviously, these things are annoying, but it is what it is, and we'll have to get going once again with a lobby restart. And if we are doing this with Tesco, I'll tell you something. It's going to be a completely different story off the race start with Tesco actually driving. He will most definitely be ahead. These guys just want a bit of a race. These guys just want to win, to be fair, but they're going to have to retire sooner than later. I'll be honest, for some people, this will not be ideal at all, but like I mentioned, it is what it is. Some people had issues, and we do have to do these things sometimes. Are these two going to end up leaving? I am going to leave and just sit in the lobby for now. Unless, never mind, unless we're all staying in, they're going to finish, and then I'm probably going to have to join back now. I don't know why I've done that. That's my bad. Yep, thanks for that. Lobby restart then here in Zandvoort. The weather is set to dry, and we're going to have a dry race the whole way through today then, which will be nice to see indeed. 36 laps ahead of us, and we'll be jumping straight into the racing action for this race. I'll tell you what, I'll take one good thing out of this. I can post on the Instagram story that we're live now. So that's very good. There we go. That is all posted to the Instagram, so hopefully we can get a few more viewers in here. I'm going to be honest, I'm hoping as well that doing this, hopefully we can get Garrison in here as well. Because obviously it will be starting later now. But we'll have to see what we can do. I'm going to check. I'm actually, speaking of that, I'm going to check Discord and see if he is lurking about in my DMs. No, he's not. Need to get him on here, to be fair. But it is what it is, boys. Anyone in the stream chat, if you've got any questions before the race starts, I'll be more than happy to answer them as we are getting ready to load into the race again and get racing then here in HDL. And this time we're going to have a little 2-minute break before the race starts. And finally, we are back in, and in 2 minutes' time, we can get going for the race here in Zandvoort after the lobby restart, of course, and hopefully it doesn't do the same thing. I'm not sure if it was because of Formation Lap, because Formation Lap is the buggiest thing in the F1 game. So I'm hoping they've turned that off. I'm begging. But if it's not turned off, hopefully nothing goes wrong. And hopefully we will not need another restart then going into the Grand Prix next. Also, if anyone's in the chat, does any of you know when the season ends? If not, I can just have a look myself, but I think there's only a few races left, I believe, so just wanted to know when. As ladies and gentlemen, we are not on for formation lap. We're going to get straight into the race then. The engines are revving up and the lights go out. Then it's lights out and away we go. Here in the Netherlands, it's Tesco who leads them away and is off brilliantly this time. Down the inside once again, though, tries the McLaren, but Tesco stays up and through this time around. Tesco maintains the lead of the Grand Prix. Then it's Gunnar second and Biscuit third, who's being challenged by J-Met then around here. But more importantly, Solo is challenging J-Met on the backside here. It's Solo who's going to try and push him through the corners now. Everybody is so closely bunched up. We're going to see any moves at the back. This is definitely a move that's going to take place soon between Nathan and Elliot at the moment. Just up ahead, it's Spears and Solo. Spears is going to try and get through past Solo here. Up ahead, the Haas went a bit wide of J-Met. Then down the inside, the Haas goes, but will Solo try and make a move on the Haas soon? As they will continue on and maybe moves we see down the main straight. You can see Nathan, it wasn't Nathan actually, it was just behind here as we have the car of OMG who's going to try and get through past the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin stays ahead that time around. As now we head around and pretty much onto the main straight. You look ahead, it is Tesco with a 1.1 second gap then between him and second place. Gunnar is gaining then down the main straight, like I should mention, and gaining by quite a bit there, but not enough obviously to get up to him enough there, but this one is definitely quite enough to try and get an overtake done when he can. It's OMG and J-Met, who J-Met is trying to make his way up there and already in P4, obviously not too bad for him at the moment, but it's not going to help him having OMG on the backside of him. These guys are close then, as the Alpha Tower, he's going to try it to the inside. The move is not there for him this time around in the back. This move's going on between Bakuto and Krispy Kreme has dropped back. Yes, Deadly, who was trying to do a last the first, is now to P12 and he's doing absolutely brilliantly so far. He's got the Red Bull, the Mercedes in his sights at the moment. And is that somebody left already? I think it is. Oh, that's a big block up. It's Tesco. It's just going to be another save. It's just going to be another restart. Krispy Kreme's left as well. What is going on here then? Nathan with a 5-second time penalty is all kicking off around here. And I'm going to really quickly check if we are getting a lobby restart or not. I believe we shouldn't do, really, if we've already had one. But if we're racing still, fair enough then. It's Spears and Solo at the back of the grid now. Tesco up ahead, even though he's not even in the game, I don't think. 1.6 seconds then, the gap between Tesco and Gunnar. But Biscuit is getting closer and closer to Gunnar then. Biscuit's round the outside and Biscuit is through past Gunnar on that lap around. Now moves to the inside then from the Williams of OMG on Don Dedge, and the Williams of OMG gets through very easily there. And up in his sights now is the next Aston Martin. The Aston Martin behind is being challenged by the Mercedes, who would have tried to the inside there, but not enough to get through past him. Mercedes is being challenged by the Red Bull then to the outside. The Red Bull gets through here in Zandvoort, and he is up and up into P8 then. It's TS Deadly, who is making a brilliant race out of this one so far. Now up ahead, it's got the Aston Martin, the Williams, and the other Aston Martin. He clips the back end of the Aston Martin here in his home race. Then he's got the favour of the fans this weekend. TS Deadly has then, as he sends his car to the outside and he dives it around the outside, and that is bold, which takes him nearly onto the gravel, keeps it just on the track, but it's not going to open that corner up to him at all. Then his super skills is now right on the back end of him because of that move there, and so is the Aston Martin, the Alpine as well, to be fair. Tesco managed to get himself back in, but due to him leaving, Biscuit will send his car to the outside, and will Biscuit get through past Tesco here in Zandvoort? Yes, he does. Biscuit is now leading the Dutch Grand Prix. J-Met, who is trying to make a name for himself once again and try and improve his form, get himself back on form, is now trying to pass the pole sitter then, as Tesco retires from the session, it says, and he drops back. J-Met continues on, and now over to P2, it's OMG third, Elliot fourth, TS Deadly, who is having the drive of his life at the moment. Absolutely in P5 and pushing for P4 at the moment. It's a last to first for him at the moment. It's looking brilliant, making his way right up through the positions, and this is what we want to watch then here in HDL Racing. about 4 out of 36. We head onto the main straight, and now we see the move from TS Deadly, who is gone right from the back of the grid then up into P4 on only lap 5 out of 36. And this is a stellar drive from TS Deadly so far. Next on his list is OMG and then J-Met and Frisky Biscuit up ahead leading. This is a stellar job from TS Deadly at the moment, and props to him because this is brilliant. Making his way up positions. It's a second now between him and the car ahead. And I am pretty much certain that he's going to make his way up and up into the car ahead because he is doing brilliant. Is that a safety car? No, is that a restart? I don't think. No, it's not. And we are continuing on for this weekend. Is Nathan's coming out the pit lane? I think, does that Haas stuff in the pit lane? I'm not sure. As there's the Alpine being pushed to the outside by OMG. And Spears sees the move down the inside of the Haas. The Haas is put on the back foot then on the outside, and through goes 2 cars there past Bakuto. It's Spears and Solo who get through past Bakuto, and Adjuros picks up on them pieces as well, and Bakuto drops down 3 positions there, and there comes the karma then. Spears beating himself here in Zandvoort. He can't get off the edge of that curb. Resets the track, and oh my goodness. Manages to get himself back up there, but we're back up on track even, but he will not be able to get himself back up there yet. But here's TS Deadly, who was a second behind last lap and already made up a second, then nearly takes out the back end of OMG. That was close, Jesus. As he stays in the back end of him now, he stays in the slipstream of the Williams just up ahead. Remember, just up ahead of that is J-Met. But TS Deadly is having an absolutely stellar drive then so far here in Zandvoort, and it's looking brilliant for him. For the last first challenge, we'll see if he can do it. I reckon he might be able to, you know, given the pace that he's on at the moment. Obviously the home crowd, the home track for him, so we'll see what he can do then. He is following closely behind and on his way around the final corner soon anyway, and then onto the main straight we go, which is where we'll probably see an overtake. It's OMG with the DRS. It's TS Deadly with the DRS then as they head down the straight. And the car ahead is pulling ahead because OMG makes the move down the inside of J-Met. Is J-Met going to get double overtaken? Then as TS Deadly tries to look for the position down the inside as well. He does not make that one work, but OMG does that time around in the Williams. And Deadly goes a bit wide in that corner to open it up for the next corner then to try and get quicker. Then J-Met out of there and see if he can pass him. Going through the start or the end of sector 1. And these three are having a lovely battle then. The car behind of the McLaren of Guna is actually caught up as well, I must say. So that is going to be definitely one to watch in the next few laps' time. We'll see what he can do. And TS Deadly. I thought he was battling for J-Met, and he was, but now Guna has caught up, and I think now the battle's going to switch to Guna and TS Deadly. Deadly's on the back foot then as he gets up to the straight. He's got the car ahead for DRS for good measure, but we'll see what he can do as he goes onto the main straight. Already Guna is trying to pass TS Deadly before he even gets to the main straight then. His early move then going on down here, and he sends that McLaren to the inside. Will he make the move work? Deadly sticks it on the inside, the outside even. And through goes Guna then as Deadly tries to get back through, but he cannot do anything about that one. And HRF1 Guna is up and into P4 this time around. It's Biscuit with the 1.7 second lead from OMG, J-Met, Guna, TS Deadly then. There's drop down. And we'll see if he can catch up even more. Guna seems to be on a good run at the moment. As down the straight, there's definitely a move going on there. The other McLaren gets through. Of Spears past Bakuto just there. Two races after this one, so 20th of December is the last race, I think. That'll be very nice to end just before Christmas. And obviously if we're racing on Wednesdays, that means that Christmas will be on 5 days after that, so it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Christmas will be on the Monday then. That's very good, as it is Frisky with the 1.7 second lead from OMG, from J-Met, from Guna, and then from Deadly then as we head down the straight now. And now J-Met will come for the move around the outside. He's going to try his best to get it on the outside. He sticks it on the outside with the medians, but can he do it? I don't think he can. No, he cannot. He gets put on the back foot, and J-Mate goes round, gets T-boned just then. That was a massive, massive collision then with them 3 cars around there. The Mercedes slots through and threads the needle between them. But the McLaren has absolutely no wing. J-Mate got absolutely T-boned just there on lap 9 out of 36. And oh my, that was a big, big crash. That was a big one on lap 9. Jesus, as the gap now between first and second is 2.5 seconds. They've dropped back. It's OMG second, Elliott third, and Super Skills made their way up into fourth at the moment. He did thread the needle through the cars and manages not to hit them impressively, as they were all lounging about across the track. Got a battle going on here between Krispy Kreme and Adjuros, but nothing comes of it this time around. I do keep religiously checking if Garrison messes back or not, because I would love to, or I would love it if he could come and do some commentary with me, but it doesn't look like he's going to be here tonight then, as the McLaren is going to try, I think, on Adjuros. The McLaren is pushing him through these corners then, as we have the main straight coming up next, and we'll see what Adjuros can do to defend off Spears just behind him. Gunnar and Deadly into the pit lane, obviously with the damage, but now we go around the bank corner onto the main straight. It's Adjuros and Spears then having the battle here, as Spears has got the upper hand as he sends his car to the outside. It's drag racing into turn 1, and Spears just outruns him on that lap around, and Spears in the McLaren is up and ahead into P9 past the Alpine. So, ladies and gentlemen, lap 10 out of 36 here in Zandvoort, and Spears gets through past Krispy Kreme. We have Frisky Biscuit with a 2.7 lead, or second gap up ahead, and not doing too bad for himself at the moment. 2.8, and that gap is getting bigger. 2.9 in a moment, 2.9 now, as OMG clearly cannot keep up with the car ahead, and he's in second at the moment. Elliott's in third, Super Skills fourth, it's J-Met fifth after being absolutely T-boned there, and that was a big one, and that is definitely going on the podcast when it gets made. But it's OMG Solo who is kind of running his own race at the moment. He's just out there in no man's land. He cannot see anybody on the track. If he's lucky, he'll see the Aston Martin go around the corner just ahead of him before he gets there. Hopefully he can catch up with him in the next few laps. But, you know, Zandvoort was made out to be a good race, but at the moment, 14 drivers on the grid, and everybody, apart from these three just here, are all pretty much completely spread out. So, not really too much to talk about at the moment, so any questions in the stream chat will be much appreciated, and would love to see them indeed. As here comes Gunnar, who will position his car to the inside and tries to get through past the Haas, and the Haas gets put on the back foot, and Gunnar makes his way through up into P12 after having the collision earlier on. He's going to try and make his way back up. Let me mention T.S. Deadly, who also obviously was involved. He was from last, right up to about third. Adjuros to the 5-second penalty, by the way. T.S. Deadly, yeah, he goes into, not the pit lane, he carries on. He went from last to about third, then down, back again to P10, and we'll have to see if he can make his way back up and through the order today then. He has the McLaren of Gunnar. Just behind that, Bakuto in P12, Nathan P13, Adjuros in P14. On his way out of the pit lane, he heads. And we're on lap 12 out of 36 here in Zandvoort. Obviously, after the lobby restart, we're going to be a few more laps down than we normally would have. But that is all right then, as we have a battle forming here then, as Elliott sends his car around the outside of the Williams, and will he make it stick here in Zandvoort? Obviously the tight corners, he does make it stick, and he's brave there through the corner. Elliott makes his way up into P2 then here in Zandvoort. OMG is not done with him yet then, he's going to try and push him through the corners. But I think that might be done and dusted then for that battle there. And let me just mention to you now, Mr. J-Met is now on the back end of Super Skills. He did drop back a few positions because of the T-bone, but now he is making his way back up there, and I think if he wants to improve that form, get himself back on form, he is definitely heading in the right direction. And J-Met is doing a superb job at the moment and trying his best to catch up to the Mercedes ahead. He is within DRS at the moment. So DRS is activated right now and should be activated towards the main straight in a few moments' time. The Mercedes makes a mistake then, as J-Met has to brake and then picks up on the pieces around the outside, and he makes the move before even the straight comes up. And J-Met is through past Super Skills and up into P4, and that is very, very respectable. But does that mean that Super Skills is going to be able to get the time and catching down the straight? No, it doesn't, because J-Met got the DRS down the straight, and J-Met gets ahead and stays ahead into P4. Biscuit 2.5 seconds gap, and it seems to be that Elliott is a bit better at cashing up to Biscuit then, if we look at the times, because it is coming down slowly but surely. It's down the main straight. We have the McLaren trying to pass TS Deadly then. TS Deadly is trying to make his way up through positions. Is dropping back actually then. He's going to try and fight back, but no, he cannot. Both of them lock up a bit there. Someone coming out the pit lane. It's Guna's teammate, in fact, of Spears. As we now watch Biscuit, who is just running his own race at the moment, but maybe not for too long. As we head on to lap 15 out of 36, and nearing halfway of the race as well, I must say. As I will tell you what, this race is needing a safety car at the moment, because it's kind of it's not one of the best races I've ever seen. It's kind of died down. Everybody's kind of spaced out. The best race that I've ever seen was 100%. The first one that I commentated on. That was a brilliant race, and I absolutely loved that one. But moves then. TS Deadly, who goes from the back and is trying to make positions up then as he goes down the inside of the McLaren, and he is up and through past Guna into P7. Don Dej into the pit lane, and the real question is, if Daddy can catch up to his teammate, will his teammate, do the team play and maybe let his teammate through? That is one thing that we can see. I mean, talking about that, Guna might as well get back past, because look at the gap. He's still quite close to him at the moment, but we'll have to see if Deadly can pull away or not at the moment. As Biscuit is 2.4 seconds ahead now, and I must say that gap is coming down and coming down. It is decreasing each lap we go by, obviously by a little amount, not too much at all, but it is coming down. Still not got word off Garrison, I will tell you as well, so sadly he will not be joining us for the race today, I don't think. But because there's not really much going on, we will run down the order of the racing at the moment. It's Biscuit in P1, Elliott second, OMG in third, J-Met in P4 at the moment, Super Skills 5th, Solo P6 with his teammate in P7, TS Deadly, Guna 8th, then comes the other McLaren of Spears in P9, Nath in P10, Don Dej 11, Bakuto 12, Krispy Kreme 13, and Adjuros P14. Have we just got a bit of a crash there? Yes, we do. We have the McLaren. It's come round. I thought we were going to see a hit there with the car coming past and through, but we did not. And I wish there was a hit there, to be fair, because it would have been a safety car probably. But I'll be honest, I don't know how there wasn't a safety car on that T-bone. But we move. It's down the inside. Goes Elliott then. He's trying to defend off OMG, and this is lovely, lovely racing from these two at the moment. Elliott's on the inside and got the advantage, and is through and past OMG for now. But OMG sends it around the outside, and what a battle we've got forming here then, as Elliott stays ahead this time around, and he is up and up into P2 still. As I am. If Garrison was here, I'll tell you something now, he would be begging for a safety car, and I'm hoping that we do get one in a bit because it would really spice up the race. Obviously, it does mean that someone would have to crash. Spears with a 5-second time penalty, yeah, it does mean that someone's going to have to crash, but it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games, really. It would be lovely to have a safety car because it would be better for everybody else at the moment out on track. Moves going on once again, and this time around, OMG does get through and past Elliott, and it was looking to be that way, and the Williams finally does it then on this lap and retakes that P2 at the moment. Elliott tried to go around the outside and mirror what OMG did last lap around, but it doesn't work for him this time around. And it's OMG from Elliott as we are on lap 18 of 36. And these two seem to be having a battle still as we make our way onto the main straight in the next few moments' time. And will we see a move going on between these two? Nathan and Bakuto both decided to go in the pit lane on lap 18 out of 36 even. As Biscuit makes it to P19, lap 19 even. There's Elliott, he's going to try and force him around the outside, and OMG manages to stay ahead that time around. And from what is going on, it is good racing, but obviously not really too much going on as we go down the main straight of this lot here. And it is Guna from Deadly from JMet. Then at the minute, JMet is up in P4 and hasn't really moved from there for a little while. He's got TS Deadly on his rear wing pretty much, and wanting to get his way through past the order there. Hopefully he can do it because I do really root for JMet. JMet is a sound guy, I'll give him that. And hopefully he can do well today then on lap 19 out of 36, and we are over halfway of the race now today. Oh, have we got something around there? Someone's come around, I think. It was the Ferrari of Krispy Kreme who had a bit of a moment. But it is Guna on the back end of Deadly. Deadly on the back end of JMet, but it is closer between Guna and Deadly at the moment. Guna with the slipstream then as we head onto the main straight, and he will have the DRS, but Deadly will not because he's 1.5 seconds behind JMet. Deadly hasn't got that extra DRS with the more speed. Guna could have really sent that down the inside, but he stayed back. If I was him, I would have definitely sent that down the inside, but he does stay back this time around. It is Nathan and Krispy Kreme having a battle. Nathan's up ahead past Krispy Kreme at the moment. Now, moving on to lap 20 out of 36, and only 16 laps of the race remaining here in Zandvoort then, as we have Guna on the back end of TS Deadly still. Elliott with a 5-second time penalty in there. you know what, speaking of that, we will have a look at time penalties really, really quick then. We have Elliott, Adros and Spears all on 5s at the moment, and we'll leave the tyres on there for you as well. Biscuit, it is Don Dej, Nathan and Adros on the mediums. It's OMG, J-Met, Deadly, Super Skills, Solo, Krispy Kreme, Spears and Bakuto on the hards as the McLaren tries to send it down the inside of the Red Bull. And Guna gets through past TS Deadly and makes his way up to P5. Deadly was absolutely no defence at all in that battle there. As the McLaren is going to try and keep himself ahead and maybe make a little gap then. As yeah, that was the mediums, that was the hards, and Elliott, Guna, and it was Tesco at the start, all on the soft compound tyres. So not many of them on the softs, only 2 of them left in the race on the softs, majority on the hards, but I'll see what goes on, see if we get any more pit stops coming up soon. As up ahead, Biscuit, who was ahead by a few seconds, is now into the pit lane and going to be putting on these, is that the softs? It is the softs then for Biscuit. He puts the soft compound tyres on, and OMG on the hards continues on then here in the Williams. And we'll see where Biscuit can come out ahead then. He comes out just behind the Aston Martin just there. Up to 22 out of 36, and obviously way over half race distance now. Not really too many laps to go here in the race, and I'm really hoping for a safety car, because if you're in my position, this isn't too great to commentate on at all at the moment. There's Super Skills on the back end of Guna. Guna's on the back end of TS Deadly. I've said it many times because it's on here at the moment, but Super Skills is gaining and gaining on Guna, and I might just dare say it, that as we go onto the main straight, Super Skills might be able to make his way past Guna then, as we head onto the main straight now around the back turn here in Zandvoort, as they go absolutely flying through there then in the Mercedes car. Oh, and someone goes into the pit lane. It's Guna into the pit lane. Super Skills continues on, and now right on the backside of TS Deadly, who I predicted to get P3. Had a bit of a moment on the exit there. Probably will not get P3 in this race then. He's really pushing him through here. He's going to try. I thought he was going to try to the inside there, but cannot make that one work just yet, as the Red Bull is up ahead still. Super Skills looking for the move on the inside, but the move's not there either. The Red Bull continues on, and the Mercedes has to back off and stay calm and collective, see what he can do on his next try to get through past TS Deadly then here in Zandvoort. As now at the pit lane, we have OMG making his way out round the final bend, and just comes out behind the car of well, it's Uber House actually. It's Bakuto, who has been lapped just there. So we've got a move going on here. No, we haven't. It is TS Deadly in the pit lane, and it's coming down the pit straight. We have Don Dej, who I'm pretty sure will get through and past TS Deadly coming out of the pits. He just about makes it out then. The McLaren's going to fight him on the exit of the pit lane, but not too much going on there as TS Deadly drops down 2 more positions and cannot fight back at all. He is defenseless on that time there, but Guna has got all the attacking in the world then as he goes round and gets through past Don Dej. And TS Deadly on the brand new softs goes through and overtakes Don Dej. Don Dej dropped down 2 positions just there. TS Deadly's going to try and make up and through past Guna next, but we'll have to see where he can get himself on lap 24 out of 36, and only 12 laps to go. Well, 25 now, 11 laps to go of this race here in Zandvoort, and somebody else going into the pit lane of Adji Rose. And let me just check if Garrison's messaged back or not. I doubt he has, because if he has, he would have probably invited me to a party, but no, he hasn't. Sadly, he hasn't joined us in tonight's races. Guna goes quickest out there at the moment. We have 14 drivers joined on the grid at the moment, and hopefully we don't get any more DNFs then in this race, as Don Dedge puts himself in the pit lane in that Aston Martin car and has to wait with the time penalty. And I think that's just my game lagging out, to be fair, but he's on his way out. And Drew says, sorry I'm late. It's alright, mate. It's been a very boring race, to be fair. Yeah, honestly. I really believe that, Drew. I really believe that. I'm joking. We would have absolutely smashed him. As we now go down the straight then, as it's OMG to the inside of Biscuit. And the Williams car then gets through past Biscuit just there. The Alfa Romeo has to drop back, and it's OMG up into P2. Elliott, who is leading at the moment with a 1.6 second lead, 1.7. And who was it who was on the fresh softs? It was T.S. Deadly on the fresh softs, who, speaking of the fresh softs, are working in great favour of him then as he goes down the inside of the McLaren and up through. On that time around, it's P7 for T.S. Deadly, last to 7th place at the moment. Why only 15 people? I do not know, mate. Ash, it's HDL's league. I think they normally have about 15, 16 anyway, unless they had full last race. I cannot remember. And it's not been great because obviously everyone's been spread it out. But, you know, we do our best. Obviously, Garrison said he was coming, but he hasn't turned up, so I haven't really had anyone to talk to. But apart from that, it's not been too bad, as we have the top three. Elliott, OMG, and Biscuit, P1 and 2 and 3 then, all up ahead. As they now make their way down the main straight, and it's Biscuit with the DRS, it's OMG with the DRS. Obviously, Elliott won't get the DRS, so OMG's going to make his way, try and get closer to Elliott, but will not make his way up there this time around. It's J-Met, who is on top form at the moment, I must say. Top bloke, I do like him. If anyone, obviously I don't think anyone in now, apart from Drew, actually knows what ZRL is, but if anyone does know what ZRL is, here's my progeny from ZRL. Do like J-Met. He is a... did my boy J-Met get pole? No, he didn't, mate. I'm sorry. It was Tesco. Tesco got pole, then he had connection issues and retired like lap 2. So, yeah, that one ended early for him. We do love J-Met, though, to be fair. Me and Drew, J-Met's our boy. We do love J-Met. But I'm not going to take all the credit. That was Drew's choice at first. We have yellow flags. I think that was Guna who was going slow just back there. Is now going to try and get through past Solo. Sends it down the inside of Solo, and that was a very, very, very Brexit move. Jesus Christ, number 69 of the car. So fits there as it is the other Mercedes? That is a completely different car. It is the other Red Bull of T.S. Deadly up ahead. But look at this then. OMG challenges for the race lead and now leading the Dutch Grand Prix. Tesco Wi-Fi needs to be looked at. Drew with the absolutely amazing jokes in the chat. Keeping me going here in the stream today, as OMG's managed to take the lead here in the Netherlands. Then from Elliott, then from Biscuit, and we've got more moves going on here. Then as it is Super Skills in the pit lane, OMG Solo in the pit lane as well. Is there anything else going on? No, there is not. These top three, though, have managed to find themselves up all together now, and this is giving me something decent to commentate on as we're on lap 28 out of 36. Coming on to lap 29 out of 36 now as we are heading around the final few corners and onto the banked final corner here in Zandvoort. Then it's going to be foot to the floor for these drivers. The two of them have got the DRS on the back end of OMG, and Elliott's going to come round for a second time round, then this time down the main straight. It's Elliott who takes the lead of the race here in the Netherlands. It's Biscuit on the inside who tries to get past through OMG, and OMG is going to try and fight this one. He's going to lose 2. He does lose 2 in the space of a few corners, and OMG drops down to P3, who was leading a minute ago. He's now going to try and fight back on Biscuit. Biscuit has got the defence here. Done and dusted, and Biscuit manages to stay in P2. It's Elliott, though, who leads the race at the moment. That is lovely, lovely work from the boys up ahead. As we have these two at the back up, there's some battling going on here. It is the Alpine on the back end of Mercedes. Jacobussi bringing back. Oh, on the outside of the corner, Adgeroach goes wide. Jacobussi bring back over U4. No, I can push back to 2027 March. That's it? I don't think that's true, mate. As we will stay watching the front runners, because this is going to be the decent battle that we'll get out of this race for now as we head our way down the main straight. And I think this time it's going to be Biscuit closer than ever then as he sends his car around the outside. Elliott's got the advantage on the inside, all of them on the brand new softs really. But it's Elliott who manages to defend off brilliantly and stays ahead and maintains that lead of the Grand Prix at the moment. The Williams are trying to find a move around the outside, but he cannot make it work at the moment. No, literally check Instagram. Well, you're wrong, mate. You're wrong. As we're on up 30 out of 36 now, and the battle ahead is just getting closer and closer than ever. Then as Biscuit is already close to OMG before the main straight. As we now go on to the main straight, and he's got the DRS on OMG, but OMG is just pulling away and trying to get closer to Elliott, but no moves on into lap 1 this time around. Get done in, mate. Shut up, Joe. Oh, we've got a battle going on here then between TS Deadly and Guna. Guna on the backside of this one, then trying to go around the outside of the bank turn, and you cannot do it that time around. It's TS Deadly who maintains P5 on the softs this time around, but you see the McLaren getting closer and closer. He might make a move down here then. Pushing it through here, that was close, but cannot make any move work that time around as these two will continue to battle ahead, as we also have the battle up ahead still with these three. And down the main straight we go. And it is OMG back again to send it round the outside. Once again, Elliott with the defence. But this time, I think OMG might have just gone and cracked it. Can he try? No, he hasn't, because Elliott manages to put his car ahead again. Side by side with Guna and TS Deadly. This battle continues to go on. And TS Deadly, who I've mentioned about a million times, has started from the back and made his way up there, and he's up into P6 at the moment. He's just dropped down 1 to P6. He's been in P5 pretty much most of the race, but Guna's managed to deny him on that one. And Guna takes his spot up in P5 at the moment. He's going to see if he can catch up to J-Met, but the gap is 11.8 and only a few laps to do that, so that is definitely not happening. But J-Met has got the back marker actually on the back end of him. He's got through past him, and that one's done and dusted. But the battle up ahead with these three now continues on as we make our way now onto lap 33 of the race. And nearing the very end of it then as we go back onto the main straight. And this time we'll see if Risky Biscuit will get closer to OMG. Will OMG get closer to the car ahead? We'll have to see what goes on here then. And I don't think we'll see a move just yet. And we won't. We'll have to save it up for the next time we go round. Lap 34 out of 36. We'll have to see what we can do on that very lap there. Then is the that was the back marker, but TS Deadly on the backside of Gunnar, and he's going to try and reclaim that P5 then as he puts his car to the inside, the Red Bull against the McLaren. And TS Deadly gets it done very, very lovely there, and it's P5 back again for TS Deadly. And that is what we love to see. My goat here in HDL, but the very best driver, as everybody knows, is J-Met. J-Met podium crash. I hope he doesn't crash. We do love a bit of J-Met. I would like somebody to crash though, get us a podium at the podium safety car at the very end. But I think this is the last lap you can do because we're on lap 33 out of 36. But now these three are making their way once again back onto the main straight. We are going to watch along with this one and see if they get any closer. We did see OMG have a bit of a moment on the exit there. Just caught that one in time then. As now onto the main straight we go. OMG is blinking. As never mind, my game was lagging and he was closer than he was a lot further than I thought actually. But down the main straight we go and no moves happens once again. As we do have these two getting close. Just up here it is Gunnar and Deadly. Back at it once again then onto the main straight. Last lap around, TS Deadly got down the inside of Gunnar to retake a position. Can Gunnar get his revenge then down the inside? And he cannot into turn one. Super Skills driving a race on his own at the moment. There's literally nobody around him at all. Number 99 on that car just there, the Mercedes. And he is very, very lonely out there at this moment in time. Then the top three are still close. And the big question is, going on to lap 35 next, will we see a move going down the main straight? We haven't seen one for the last 3 laps. And we're going to hope the very best that we see one this time around then. Lap 34 out of 36. And we are closing to the end of this race then. It's Elliott, OMG and Biscuit all in contention of this race win then. As we move on to the main straight now, and it's Elliott from OMG who they go down the straight, and OMG will send it down the inside after 3 laps of no overtakes. We get 2 down the inside then as Biscuit is going to try, and is that some round? I think that's some round. It is. It's Biscuit who was up in contention of that race win and has now dropped back by a very, very big amount. Then it's OMG and Elliott, the 2 drivers up ahead, who have managed to continue on and not get caught in that tangle. OMG with a second gap pretty much now between him and Elliott, and with 2 laps to go, that is really what he wants to see then out there at this moment in time. That is absolutely lovely stuff, and OMG will be smiling and giggling to himself in that helmet because he knows that if he can keep this gap, the race is all his then here in Zandvoort. Adros is out of the session. I don't even think I noticed that. But he is, and that's 2 drivers out of the session. We have 13 who are still joining us as we make our way around onto the main straight and onto the final lap of the race here in Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's been a bit of a long one. It's been a bit of a, I'm not going to say boring. I don't want to offend anyone, but I think there's just not been too much action this race. But at the end, we did get the lovely action between OMG, Elliott, and Biscuit. But the gap now is 2.2 seconds, and OMG has retaken the lead a few times in today's race, and we didn't really know if he was going to have it or not. It was fluctuating. To be fair, at the very end, TS Deadly, who started from the back, was doing so well then up in P5, and he's dropped down and retired from the session. And his tyre is completely off that Red Bull car. And in his home race, TS Deadly does not finish this weekend then. Poor, poor guy, as OMG, the gap 2.6 seconds, is going to make his way down. Told you it would be a crash, but no podium. Drew predicted it once again. As OMG, who has retaken the lead a few times in today's race. We didn't know if he was going to take it or not. It's been a bit up and down, bit wishy-washy for OMG, but this time around he crosses the line to take the win here in Zandvoort. It's OMG to win the Dutch Grand Prix from Elliott and Biscuit in P3, the top three. The three that were battling. That was an absolutely lovely finish then from the three there. J-Met P4, who told you there would be a crash but no podium. Did he say J-Met crash? Drew mate, you didn't say TS Deadly crash. You said J-Met. You got that completely wrong, mate. As Super Skills P6, unless I've got it wrong, but yeah, Super Skills P6. Nathan 7, OMG solo in 8 is Don Dej P9, Spears P10. Krispy Kreme will come across the line in 12 because it will be P11 actually because of TS Deadly. It will be Pikuto who will finish in P12 for today's race out here in Zandvoort. As we now have the podium celebrations. And ladies and gentlemen, after the long Dutch Grand Prix, we finish off with OMG, who comes across the line in the Williams and takes the win here in Zandvoort. It's Elliott in second and Biscuits who comes across the line in third. Obviously, the lovely battle that we got to see between them three towards the end that unfolded. We did like to see that one, and it was very nice indeed. J-Map P4, it is Guna P5, Super Skills P6, Nathan 7, OMG Solo 8, Dondej 9, Spears 10th, and moving down the rest of them, TS Dudley crashed. It's Krispy Kreme 12th, Bikuto 13, Adros, and who's the other guy? It was Tesco, who retired from the session at the very end. Not the very end, actually, he retired at the start, but both of them out of the session, and only 12 drivers finished today's race. But thank you for joining me. It has been a lovely one, and I can't wait to come back next weekend, hopefully with Garrison. So thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you lot next week. See you in a bit.